I'm doing just fine and dandy. Thanks for having me. A while back, it struck me that in a world filled with so much bad, so much anger fueled by racism, that I just did not want to come out into a world like that. I don't like to hear it, and I don't like to see it. I'm just not made for it. Sure, there is. One day when the world has changed enough and become a better place. It may not be in my lifetime. Sure, there is. One day when the world has changed enough and become a better place. It may not be in my lifetime, and although that's sad and unfortunate for those who suffer from it, I'm content with it. It used to really bother me. I guess I've grown accustomed to it. I believe that the morals of humans grow and change as they get older. I also believe that who we are and our morals are greatly influenced by those around us. That being said, I do not think anyone is born with hate or racism for that matter. It is something learned, and it is taught. It is my belief that humans are born good and unfortunately learn from others to turn essentially evil. Yes, I have. Growing up in a family like mine wasn't something that stood out. Treating those of color, talking about those of color in a certain way was seen from my point of view as normal. So seeing my father say and do these things really rubbed off on me. When I was younger, I wasn't the best kid, messing around and getting into trouble. That's when I acted racist. After having time to myself and isolating myself from the rest of society, I was able to reassess my actions. It was something that just seemed to happen. One day in the afternoon, I was inside and I heard a loud bang from outside. It sounded like something big hit the house. I peeked through the window and saw a little girl who I now know as Scout. She must have rolled in a tire and hit the house because there was a large tire right beside her on the ground. I couldn't help but laugh because they all seemed to look so scared just to be that close to the house that I lived in. From there, it just took off into something else. Being alone in that house was lonely. They were the only ones interested in seeking me out. In return, I also showed interest in them, and we formed a friendship. I couldn't help but look out for them. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. However, I don't think I'm actually mentally disabled. Everyone is born with gifts, and reading and talking are mine. I'm definitely slower than the average person, and I am shy, but I believe that my mind is just fine. I am in my house for the great majority of my day. Every day is different for me. Sometimes I read or play games. Recently we got a television, so there's that. I take my time in everything that I do. I do laundry when I need to and other chores as required. Before it all began, it had come to my attention that those children, Jem and Scout, were afraid of me. They feared me. I figured putting those gifts there was a way of letting them know that they don't have to be scared of me. I'm actually a friendly guy, and I wanted them to know that. And I think that they did know that. Seeing the smiles of those children and the way they looked forward to receiving gifts made me feel good. It made me feel that for the first time in a long time, I had friends from the outside. I'm always out at night. It's the time of day that I can go outside and feel free without being seen. That night, I was out and about, and I noticed lights and people at the high school. I was in my neighborhood when I heard loud shuffling from a drunk Bob Ewell. I knew he was trouble, so I followed him to keep him from doing trouble. I followed him to where he attacked Jem and Scout, and that's when I stepped in. I did it because Scout and Jem were good to me. I never caused any harm. They were good people, and nothing like that should happen to a young man or a little girl. Thanks for having me.